What's going on, team? It's your boy G, and today we are going to be reviewing Flash, which should have been your standard summer blockbuster movie. But unfortunately, this movie was doomed to fail from the start. Well, maybe not the start per se, but definitely after they who should not be named started wilding. If you know, you know. But today I want to talk about the actual movie, because it was actually good. Now, whether you go out and support it in theaters, that's still up to you, obviously. I would rather watch something like this on the big screen, but I get it if you just want to wait for streaming. Now, the movie itself, from the opening, was super dope. Outside of the Flash's running style, which I'm still not a really big fan of, and just the different animation styles that they chose to use, this genre was pretty tough, because the whole goal of this first part was to show us what it's like to be a speedster. Because of the way DC decided to roll out the Justice League and all of their movies recently, this movie is more of a pseudo origin story where even if you're not a huge Flash fan or you haven't seen anything from the Snyderverse, you can get a quick understanding of the things that Barry Allen, the fastest man alive, can do. And let's be real, bro, the Gotham arc was dope. From the Flash saving like 10 babies from a falling building to Batman going crazy in the streets, bruh. Like, that joint was elite. And of course, just like every DCEU movie before, it's gonna be cameos galore. We got to see multiple Batmans in this movie, Wonder Woman, and even Aquaman. Now, some of these things were surprises, but for the most part, they already showed us half the movie in the trailer. So that's gonna be a running theme in this review, just because if the trailer movie ratio wasn't so off and They Who Should Not Be Named didn't go crazy off the big screen, this movie definitely could have been breaking records. It was way funnier than I was expecting, and it started to give us a better understanding of who Barry Allen is, other than being, you know, the Flash. Because the Flash moments are always going to be cool, right? But it's that character development that would take this movie to the next level. So let's dive deeper into the plot and pace it, because, bro, this is where things get tricky. Now, like I said earlier, man, the movie to trailer ratio was way off. They revealed way too much of the movie prior to us even to go see it. Now, if you are somebody who doesn't watch the trailers, you might have a different experience, because a lot of these things will come up to you as more of a surprise. And I think the movie does a good job at staying focused on the task at hand. There aren't a whole bunch of random tangents that we have to go on, but as the movie continued to progress, things got more and more predictable. And it's not because I just think anybody could have written this movie. No, it's just because things were very nostalgia centric. Now, having Barry as the epicenter of the plot and everything else in the world being sort of fluid based on the situation was cool. But after those initial moments, things started to slow down a lot. I like that they were able to pull things from the Flash mythos like jitters or the chair from Flashpoint, right? And the initial shock of even Barry losing his powers. But once that shock is over, the writing was just like on the walls of how this thing was finna go. And I think it was because like they relied so heavily on nostalgia and the idea of a multiverse with these big what if scenarios. But instead of curating a full and new experience, they just reused content that we've already seen. Don't get me wrong, I really like the theme of this movie being that every problem doesn't always have a solution, even when you're the fastest man alive and you can go back in time and change things. And then on top of that, they explain how the multiverse works and time works by using spaghetti noodles. But at times it just felt like we were sitting and we were just kind of waiting for the next thing. Now, what I think they could have did was never reveal Supergirl and save that for the third act of the movie. And then I could have really sat there in the theater and been like, yo, what is happening? Have a real mind-blowing experience. Because this movie had moments, y'all. I'm trying to tell you, whether it was the sentimental moments that Barry had with his mom or the impact of Supergirl and Batman dying. This movie could have went crazy, bruh. Like, oh my goodness. And even like the love interest moments. Like, Iris West is a very integral part of Barry Allen's story. But they focus so much on his mom, which, don't get me wrong, shapes him as well. And maybe this is just my Flash the TV show bias showing, but their relationship, their family is integral to who Barry is as a person. And we never really got to see that in this movie. And it left me feeling like, dang, like Barry's kind of missing this part of his soul. Like, I don't know, it was just weird sometimes. Now, don't get me wrong, I do think it's impressive to have a full dialogue with yourself, playing both roles, and it coming off as genuine and sincere conversation where you can see the difference in both characters. Like, that's That's really good. That's phenomenal, right? But there's still something missing. And I think it just comes back to DC always being on their back foot because of the way that they started to start the DCEU. Because this character has no real foundation, and because you're trying to force into this one movie, it doesn't have that punch that you want that could have taken this movie over the top. But at the end of the day, I do like how much room they're giving James Gunn to move forward in the DCU with this movie because of how open-ended things were left. But it's going to take a lot of work, and that's just facts. Now, at this point in the video, you might be thinking like, gee, you have all of these negative things to say about the movies, but you're still saying that it's good. But these comments don't come from a place of negativity and hate. No, it comes from a place of frustration because if they just held back on what they showed us in the trailer, this movie probably would have been like a 9 out of 10. Now, granted, if they didn't give us all these cameos in the actual trailer, I don't know if I would have went. I probably would have just waited for streaming. But seeing it on the big screen while I'm waiting to watch Guardians of the Galaxy, I was like, bro, nah, this joint might go crazy. And it did, but not for the reasons that I hoped. Both Batmans had some really, really cool moments in this movie. And so did Supergirl and Barry. But the real core issue with it is that they really needed to do a deep dive on not just Barry's trauma, but what makes Barry a good character. When it came to the story, it just felt like they were relying on us seeing all the cool things that the Flash can do, whether it was phasing through a building or throwing lightning or freaking lightning tornado, whatever you want it to be. I just feel like they needed to do a deep dive on Barry Allen as a character and not rely so much on all the cool things the Flash can do and not rely on the Batmans, the Wonder Womans, the Supergirls to carry the load for the rest of the movie, right? I mean, the evil Barry / young Barry moment was so easy to predict, bro. And the reveal just didn't hit like it needed to. And it's because of those things that this movie would never get the look that it really deserves, bro. We're just gonna have to wait and see what James Gunn does in the future, bro, because like I think there's only one more back burner movie, and that's Aquaman 2. So after this, that's when the real journey starts, bro. But as far as a rating for this movie, the G-File score is an 8 out of 10. And if you want to, take it with a grain of salt, right? Because with DC right now, the bar is so low. We need all the wins we can get. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, if you want to wait till streaming, wait. But if you want to get the best experience of this movie, I definitely suggest you go see it in theaters. But other than that, man, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, smash that like button down below for you. Subscribe to the channel for more. I'm holla at y'all in the next one, man. Y'all be easy. You know the vibes. Always kick around. See going. It's boy G. I'm gone. Peace.